My earliest memories of the Urban League of Rochester were when I was 3 years old, sitting in the boardroom when my father, David James, was the chairman of the board. At that time, obviously I was too young to recognize the impact of the work that he was doing, but it did sustain in me the impact of giving back to the community and the importance of donating your time, energy, effort, and treasure to uplift others in our community.
My father joined the Urban League in the late 70s, and he tells the story that Mr. Bill Johnson recruited him from Kodak to come to the Urban League and work on some education initiatives.
Urban League of Rochester today is looked to as an organization to lead this community in places where it might not want to go, in areas of equity, in areas of freedom, in areas of providing inclusive activity for all people, regardless of race, color, creed, sexual orientation, gender. All of the areas this organization has been a leader in.
We built homes, low to moderate income homes like the Mills at Half Falls. We built homes for the disabled, both developmental and physically disabled. And we built quite a few senior projects.
And when we look at our Black Scholars Program, which is a program I'm proud of the fact that that program has existed for 40 of these 60 years and continuing to provide support to high school graduates to help them establish themselves. We've had a number of our Black scholars who've gone on to leadership, not just here in Rochester, but across the country.
I can't move on without talking about Annette Rouse, who was my coordinator for the Salute the Black Scholars program.
Annette Rouse had such enthusiasm and love for young Black students here in Monroe County and the surrounding areas, and she developed this program called the Black Scholars. It was a joy and it was a pride of mine to be selected as a Black scholar in 1991. That gave a voice to a lot of Black students that were here in the Rochester area who wouldn't normally be celebrated for their academics.
When you look at the thousands, and I do mean thousands, of young folks that came to the Urban League to receive scholarships so that they could go on to college. I go to restaurants today and I have so many people that come up to me and say, I got my start through the Urban League. You paid my tuition for me to go to college. The latest young lady now has her PhD degree. Each year we would leverage anywhere from $2 to $5 million in scholarships for graduating high school seniors who achieved a B average or better. So all of that, encompassed the work that we did for the community.
I'm 17 years old, I'm in 12th grade, and I go to McQuaid Jesuit. I've been a Black scholar currently now for about 3 years. Personally, it's given me an opportunity that I haven't seen before. We went to New Orleans. We convened together with a bunch of urban leagues across the nation, and it allowed us to be a part of something bigger than ourselves.
I'm 17 years old. I go to McQuaid Jesuit. I think the Black Scholar Program, it gives Black scholars like me and my peers to have an opportunity to be recognized, not only in their school, but outside in the community with everyone else. Being a part of the Urban League and having the opportunity to be a Black scholar also means something to me because for my family it's generational. My grandmother was a Black scholar, my mother was a Black scholar, my father was a Black scholar, so it's always been something I've been looking forward to be a part of because I know how helpful it's been for them. So it's just been great for me so far.
For 6 decades, the Urban League of Rochester has been the catalyst for opportunity and empowerment. Programs like the Urban League Black Scholars have given young people the tools that they need, and not just the tools, but the financial support that they need so that they can focus on their academic excellence and their pursuit of their higher education. So many of our Urban League Black scholars have gone on to become incredible leaders in their fields and right here in Rochester. And what it does is it creates a ripple effect of success that uplifts our entire community.
Well, I think in the future, because of the fact that Dr. Hawkins has created such a presence here in the community, not only here in Rochester, but statewide, the future of the Urban League for Rochester is fantastic. COVID created a little bit of a ripple effect for us, but I do believe that we are on the rebound as it relates to that for our community.
I'm proud and honored to lead this work. I've been with the Urban League of Rochester now 5.5 years, and it's been my vision to honor the legacy of the Urban League while positioning it for sustainable growth and a deeper impact, building on the legacy of Bill Johnson and Bill Clark. When I stepped into this role 5.5 years ago, I knew that the Urban League's work was vital and important, and my focus had to be on expanding our reach, strengthening our programs, and creating pathways for equity and opportunity. We've reimagined how we serve the community together with the team, launching innovative programs and building partnerships that amplify our mission. My goal has always been to lead with purpose, ensuring that the Urban League remains the beacon of hope and a catalyst for positive change for generations to come. I have to tell you that COVID-19 was one of the greatest challenges I've ever faced as a leader. Early in my role, just 7 months in, we were confronted with a crisis that disrupted every aspect of our community and certainly the Urban League. But crisis reveals character, and our team at the Urban League rose to the occasion. We pivoted quickly, we shifted to virtual platforms, keeping all of our programs running, delivering essential services to family in need, giving them medicines, whatever they needed. We got creative with solutions to making sure that we met the need of the moment, and we partnered with our community members. But through it all, we didn't just survive, we thrived. And from that experience, it certainly reinforced my belief that when opportunities come and we have to meet it with innovation and collaboration, and certainly we have to maintain our commitment to the vision of the Urban League of Rochester.
So in my role as the board chair for the Urban League, I've come to understand that the Urban League of Rochester plays an enormous role in terms of create the kind of community that we would like to see, not only today, but in the future, especially as it relates to creating equitable opportunities for all members of the Rochester community. So for me, that has been one of the important lessons that I've learned in serving in this capacity, is that it really does take a village to create the kind of community that you want. And because of the role that the Urban League has played in this community for decades at this point, they're central to making sure that an equitable opportunity is presented for all citizens of Rochester, irregardless of race or nationality. And so for me, that has been one of the cornerstones of the work that I've had a chance to do and to be a part of.
The 60th anniversary means a lot. I do want to thank Dr. Hawkins and her team for picking up the torch and continuing to provide these needed services for our community, for the youth, for the folks that are looking to become self-sufficient, that are looking for housing. These services are needed more today than ever. When you look at our economic and our political climate, I think it is absolutely essential that the Urban League continue to provide those vital services that put the Urban League of Rochester on the map.
So I look back on those and many other initiatives to see that the Urban League was in the center of the action in terms of leadership, in terms of bringing people together, in terms of creating collaborative opportunities for various groups to come together, that groups that hadn't normally worked together were brought together under our leadership. I came to the Urban League of Rochester when it was 7 years old. It was founded in '65. I got here at the end of 1972. When I came, there was serious doubt whether the Urban League would even continue to exist, would even see its 10th anniversary. And we've subsequently seen 50 years of steady progress.
What I love most about the Urban League of Rochester is their expansive vision for what our community can be. The vision carries beyond what currently exists in the community. It really is trailblazing in its perspective. Whether it's involvement in real estate development to create opportunities for individuals to have quality, affordable housing, allowing construction companies that are minority and women owned to participate on those projects, and then youth-built participants to be able to engage in the skilled trades working on those projects. That level of visionary leadership is essential for the betterment of our community. And I just believe moving forward, the Urban League will continue to advance really innovative concepts in order to elevate our population in this community.
I believe that community members need to take advantage of the vast resources that are here at the Urban League. I just this past fall, sat in on a women in business luncheon. There's always services and resources here at the Urban League, and I just believe that our community needs to continue to make contact.
Having somebody in your corner that knows the same struggle and just being in a safe space with people that look like you, that's what really has brought Urban League and given me a different advantage opposed to others.
I think the Urban League as a whole, aside from the Black Scholars Program, is just really helpful. Every time I go, there's students doing work or doing something for the community. And one thing that our community really needs to focus on is taking care of the youth and having the youth take care of the community as well, because they need to realize now that when you're young, you have to set up your future. You have to do things that give you success so that you can come back to your community when you're older and then do the same thing so that the cycle continues to grow.
And as I indicated, it wasn't just me, it was a team effort. The one is giving the Urban League of Rochester a permanent home, was paving the road. All of that paved the road for where we are today, and I look forward to that the road getting paved even further under Dr. Hawkins' leadership.
Collaboratively with me, help pave the road to a brighter future for a number of citizens in this community who otherwise would not have been served. Low-income citizens, people who've been discriminated against, people who have lost their way in terms of addiction and the like, people whose families have been disrupted. The Urban League has paved the way for a brighter future for thousands and thousands of people over the generations in Rochester. And that has not been just the result of any one person's effort, but just a number of people working together, pulling in the same direction.
So as a woman, minority-owned construction business owner, I paved the way, providing opportunities for priority populations to gain access to skilled careers that will elevate their economic self-reliance and empower them for generations to come.
The Urban League of Rochester has already demonstrated that we're here for Rochester through our programs, our partnership, and our dedication and our commitment to equity. But what we realize is that with this vision, we need supporters. We need our Urban Leaguers to help us and invest in the future of the Urban League. We're building a vision, but we need you, and we need to do it together. Every dollar, every partnership, every act to support fuels transformation. We invite you to join us in making this vision a reality, ensuring that the Urban League of Rochester remains the beacon of hope and the catalyst for positive change for generations to come. I'm proud to lead the Urban League of Rochester. I'm grateful to you for being here and being with us today. We cannot do this work without you. Thank you for your support. Over 6 decades for the Urban League of Rochester. We can't wait to walk alongside you for the next 6 decades. Thank you.